Hi guys, my name is Grace and I'm doing a Divine Masculine energy reading. I know I haven't posted for last week and this week, Wednesday, but I was just not feeling very good, not really in a position to post a reading because I don't really want to do it if I'm not feeling passionate and I don't want to be doing a reading when I feel forced, and I know that will affect the quality of my readings. So anyway, you're getting the reading depending on when you most needed to hear the messages. So yeah, for new people who just found me on this, just found my channel, hello. And this will be a long reading. You probably already know this because you clicked on this and you saw how long my reading is. But anyway, I'll start it. This will be a Divine Masculine energy check, specifically on Scorpio. Full moon on the April 29th or April 30th, depending on where you are currently in. And but if you happen to find this reading at any other time, just you just remember that um, some of the message from this reading might be um, might resonate for you specifically during this time whenever you found this reading. So anyway, sorry for the long introduction. I don't usually do that, but anyway, um, check on the mental state, the general mental state of divine masculines that I'm connecting with, and I have here the Two of Swords. So um, I feel like this means the divine masculines are stuck on their head. This is a stalemate, really feeling stuck. They might also be in a defensive state, as you can see on this card, and they could also be thinking about their ex. Like, I feel like if you've been in a relationship with your divine masculine, then I feel like it's really the divine feminines um could be the ex that the divine masculines are thinking about, and but the ex also could be just stuck thinking about the past. I feel like I'm connecting with the divine feminines that that have had a connection or a relationship with their divine masculines before and it has ended, and because personally that's my story. So but for these divine masculines, they're just basically stuck thinking about the past, and they cannot see the way out. Um, it's not as severe as the Eight of Swords, but it's still this is more about um, trying to get clear on their mind. And as I've watched from other videos, the moon will really help, and so I did my own reading that's to confirm this, and I feel like really this specific this specific sorry, this specific moon in Scorpio will really help them to get clarity. um what they're thinking about is is really related to emotions, because with the water there's a lot of emotions, and but with this they're still trying to guard their heart. But I also getting now that this could not just be being that's the reason why they're being in a defensive mode, especially in their mind. It's they're also being defensive about the people that are around them. especially the toxic and negative people that are trying to manipulate them. Um, yeah, through mind games, and could be emotional manipulation too. That's why they're in this defensive mode. Um, yeah, this could really be related to the moon, with the moon there. If you can see on that card, and could also be about making a choice. They're being stuck about making a choice, and I feel like um, this is the first time I noticed this with this card. There's like two islands here, and it feels like they're switching islands. If that resonates with you, it could be like this is like to represent your island, and the karmics are island if it's another karmic relationship. They're trying to get out of that um other island to go towards their divine feminines. And yeah, now we're looking at the mental state of the divine masculine. This is general. Divine masculines mental state of the divine masculines towards the divine feminines. And what I got from that from another deck, I have here the Nine of Wands in reverse. So with this card here, if this is upright, this could mean defensiveness. But since it's reverse, I feel like it's non-defensiveness towards the divine feminines. I feel like what I'm getting now is that the divine feminines are like the few people, or could be the only person that the divine masculines really feel this real connection. So it's like they're the only people really that they know that they'll be safe with, although they haven't even though they haven't taken any actions in doing that, they still have fears, but they think that they can feel that the divine feminines are really someone that they'll be safe to share what they think without getting judged, without needing to be in this defensive state. But with other people, especially the toxic people around them, they're in this defensive state. Now, it's also, I feel like this card is about the phoenix, because yeah, this is about the phoenix rising, and phoenix rising from the ashes. So this full moon, I feel like will help this card to turn into this phoenix rising from the ashes. It's like it's rising from, like with the phoenix, the metaphor of phoenix rising from the ashes. They've been through so much. They've been through hardships, the challenges that was brought to them by the experiences, and it's not, it is, it's still not a very pretty process, but it's definitely worth it, definitely. So there's this can also mean that there's really a transformative process, specifically on their mind and their beliefs, as they go on to more awakenings, as they gain clarity more. And one of the moon, the full moon, will help that too. Now, yeah, this is coming out stronger. This is transformation. And I feel like also mentally they cannot defend themselves anymore. They were able to do that in the past, but they cannot it almost feels like they cannot really prevent their mind to think about their divine feminines, to the point of surrendering. So um, it's getting hard to block their minds thinking about the divine feminines. And yeah, and when when you're thinking about someone and it gets frustrating, you try to think of something else but it's not working, that kind of feeling. So if you are asking, if you want to confirm if this your divine masculine, or if you're divine feminine and you want to confirm if your divine masculine is thinking of you, if they have you in your in their mind, then most likely they are. This is just a confirmation. So that's the mental state. Now I want to move on to um, the emotional state of the divine masculine. So for the emotional state, I've got here the Sun card. So yeah, this is a very positive card to have, and I feel like this is like what's waiting to happen. If it's not the current for some, I feel like for most divine masculine, this is just waiting to happen. And I feel like there'll be this, yes, this card is about happiness. So, and this is about general emotional energy. So they'll be happy once this whatever they're keeping, whatever the secrets come out to light. And they've been too serious, I feel like, related to their thinking, and I feel like they've been stressed. It is a stressful process, and um yeah, I feel like I really see this is coming out to light, and the truth is being anchored out, and this will bring about stability with the red here. And it's like after this um full moon in Scorpio, for most masculines, like secrecy is almost impossible. That's what I got. And it's journeying towards um a more emotionally fulfilling, journeying towards emotional fulfillment, and it just simply indicates that they are going in the right direction. Whether it even though it is a very hard, painful process, they are still going through the right direction, and they'll be experiencing this happiness once they've done the work and they release what they need to release in their life. Yeah. Um yeah, this is, I don't know, I just feel like for most of my masculines this is more the future. But it's the near future, it's not really far. But still I feel like since there are many divine masculines and we all have our own timelines, it will still depend um on your own timeline. So however that resonates. And yeah, even if they're not really feeling joyful at the moment, they will be. And all they have to do is keep on the path. Now, looking at the feelings towards the divine feminine, so what I got here is the Seven of Swords upright from the other deck, combined with the Strength card in reverse. So, with this, I feel like with the Seven of Swords, but yeah, not mention. I don't really mention signs, but I really feel like there's a strong Leo here, but because of the Sun and the Strength card here, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a Leo. And they could just embody the energy of a Leo, and connected connected to the sun, and is coming out to the light. What's coming out to the light is this, like the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is really about this deception energy most of the time, and manipulation. And they realize that whatever it is, it's it's toxic, it's not healthy. Whatever they've done, I feel this is related to divine feminines. It's not, they realize their fault, and they're it's coming out to the light. They want to come clean if they haven't, and they want to ask for forgiveness really is what I got, the key thing here. That's what they feel, and they're still trying to gain strength to do that. That's why this strength card is still in reverse, and this will really come up during the full moon. And how they increase their strength most of the time, really, if they're really really stubborn, then um these challenges, these tower moments that the divine masculines are experiencing, it will only make them stronger. So yeah, even though it might appear as negative, and it might appear really dark and really painful, it only makes them stronger. And you could also feel that same energy sometimes, especially when you're really feeling very happy, and then suddenly for a moment you feel really down and sad. Like, that's very weird. And then after a few moments, it doesn't last, you will get back up to your higher vibration of being happy. That's you picking up your divine masculine's energy. And when that happens, you could just send some light. Yeah. And towards them. And what else? Really? Like, moon here? I mean, full moon in Scorpio? This really what they will face. Yeah. In accordance to their emotions toward the divine feminines. And also from the deck where these cards came, from the book where these cards came from, it says that from another perspective, it says from the book, this is a moment when your ideals, what you hold dear, take precedence. They're wanting what they are thinking as a priority, and they're needing to check their heart and make sure their intentions are pure. And it's really more like a contemplation. If you really look at this guy here, it seems like he's asking and praying to the divine or God, because it's seven. Seven is, to me, is, and seven really is about divine or God, and really asking, praying to divine or God for help, revealing their real beliefs and feelings towards the divine feminines. And I feel like they're just waiting for a signs, or yeah, or they have waited for a sign and they might receive it during full moon, this full moon time. And with the strength card here in reverse, I like how is being described in the book from this deck. It says inner healing and forgiveness is part of the answer, whatever the question when this card came up. So this is them too needing to face their own inner healing. Inner healing has to happen first before they can come forward to the divine feminines. That really, because yeah, even though it will take a bit of time, even though it doesn't happen with the way we expect it to happen, it will only benefit us. That's the reason why there's divine timing. It will only benefit us because you want the divine masculine really that's gonna stay, and that is healed, that is stable. That's why they need really to face their own healing first. This full moons will help them face their shadow self, because it's in Scorpio. It's really about your shadow self and your imperfections, and facing that, those negativity will come out for releasing, and it will just help them on inner healing, forgiving their self. They has to be forgiving their self, so that they can come to the divine feminines and ask for forgiveness. So yeah, if you're a divine feminine watching, then they really need compassion through that. And this is really them trying to accept themselves and their mistakes, all their shadow parts, to release these negative thinking patterns, as I've already said, that have also manifested in their reality. Because if you keep thinking about negative, that's what you will keep on manifesting. So if you've been stuck on the negativity, then it's really no surprise if you're experiencing what you may call bad luck that keeps happening. And that's why you have to keep work on raising your vibration and keeping a positive energy, so that you will only attract blessings. This manifested whatever this negative thinking patterns they've manifested in the reality, and they're doing this dishonesty here, and this lower vibrational connections that they have that manifested, and they've even attracted a karmic. It's a lower vibrational connection, really, but that really needs to happen for their own awakening. It's only helping them, although it might seem like they're being hurt, they're being deceived too by the karmic, and there's manipulation on both ends. And you just really need to, even if you're feeling your divine masculines, for the divine feminines, you just really need to set boundaries then for yourself. If it's really not helping you connecting with your divine masculines, because you're feeling all those energies, and it's just making you sad, then if you feel like stepping away, you should step away. Follow your own intuition in this, and it's really, because you're both sad, you're both stuck, then there will only be delays in this connection. So it's so important to take back your power and set your boundaries, divine feminine, so that you'll be able to stay on the higher vibrational energy, and that will only anchor and help your divine masculine get into that energy. He'll meet you there. You don't meet them on the lower vibrational energy, because that's the union is in a higher vibrational plane. And this is gaining the strength to love themselves, for healing, so that they can come forward to the divine feminines. And this is also them feeling regretful, feeling shameful with their actions, and being too hard on themselves. So yeah, as I've already said, for divine feminines, to show compassion to your divine masculines, especially when they come forward to you. When your divine masculine comes to you, be gentle with compassion, but stay firm. Set proper boundaries. It doesn't mean that when they come to you, you will accept them back right away. It's not really that. It's staying firm and setting your boundaries, setting proper boundaries. It's not really like testing your divine masculines, but it's more like it's more like just being firm, and they know they have to prove it to you to regain back your trust again. And they don't get a free pass just because they're your divine masculine, that they're your divine counterpart, and they'll respect you more for doing that. So yeah, set the proper boundaries, especially when they come back. It's not really not letting them in, but it's like, I know you know what I mean. And now, with their current spiritual state, I use a different card for this, just because I feel like it's more fitting. These cards are Tarot of Transformation. And yeah, so with their current this card represents their current spiritual state. So their current spiritual state, as I've noticed from these cards, I've always with these cards, even though it's always swords, and it's like they're really up in their heads, the divine masculines. And this card is a healer of swords. This is the interpretation of court cards in this deck, and it's mapping the mind. And they're also mapping the mind. It's all about the mind. And so it's no surprise that they're mapping the mind, because there's really swords that I'm getting from the mental state and their emotional state too. And they've been really wanting to gain that clarity. They're been in their head. They're weighing out options. This could be travel for some, maybe traveling to the divine masculine, or traveling for their career to gain stability. Their dreams, like dream job, or dream of coming back together with their divine feminines. And this could also be about love, thinking about that love, and thinking about the divine feminines, and really how to gain that forgiveness, healing the scars. Because I don't know if you can notice, there's some, I just noticed like the scars here. And looking at this pattern of their mental state and how it affected their behavior. And this could also be about growing new ideas and breaking free of restrictive patterns, restrictive mental patterns that they have in their mind, and facing their thoughts, stepping away from, it's really about stepping away from their thoughts and observing them, being the observer, and not really getting lost in their thoughts. That's what they need to learn to do. And yeah, even for the divine feminines as well, when you worry too much, it's best to step away from your thoughts, breathe, step away from your thoughts, and observe. Your thoughts, they're not gonna, there is what they call the monkey mind, the chatter mind. It's not gonna stop really thinking. So it's for you to realize that what's real and what's not, what's your intuition and what's your ego mind. And yeah, it's facing their thoughts. And they see, straight from the book, it says, seeing the landmines of aversion and to attachment. So it's really breaking away from the pattern of attachments. That's where the codependency arises, and both divine masculines and divine feminines have this. It manifested into different forms, and this could also be mapping the mind, could also be about visualization, and a positive one. But visualization, as we all know, should know already, that positive visualization will help manifest your ideas into the physical, and all about the law of attraction. So they're currently on this state of mapping the mind. That's why, yeah, there's a lot of thinking. And now, how did this full moon will affect them spiritual state? How it will affect them spiritually? I've got here the green man, and it says ruling in harmony with nature. So the green man in this tarot deck is really the Emperor card. This is really the masculine energy that, combined with birth into form, or the One of Discs, and in traditional tarot, this is the Ace of Pentacles. So with that, what I got is this birth into form, with the green man here. This is really the rebirth. I feel this is really the rebirth, and I hope you can see it even though there's a glare. Okay, so this is really about the rebirth and transformation of divine masculines into the positive way. The Emperor, they will this after this full moon in Scorpio, most divine masculines that I'm connecting with, especially the ones I'm connecting with here, their qualities, they really will embody this masculine, the real masculine energy qualities. This is the father archetype, and this is a positive masculine. And this could also be them healing their old beliefs especially about their own father. For some divine masculines, this is about healing the father issues, and any issues as to not having a good father model. And this is also beginning a new pattern with the birth into form, beginning a new pattern, and this is a new way of thinking, and or it could also be just clearing a space for this new one, for this new beginnings. This is like going from 0 to 1. From this mapping the mind, this is like the zero, because you don't know yet, you haven't leaped. This is like the Fool, also, like you haven't leaped to the unknown. And then this is the One, this is the birth into form. This is the result of this mapping the mind. And it only, this full moon only helped that, this birth into new form, this transformation. And this is also stabilizing the mind with this Emperor card here, or the Green Man. This is also about leadership and authority. This is stabilizing the mind. And there's also a moon again on this card. So really, what I got from this is about change. Birthing a new form of ambitions. This could be related to career. This is also balance in power, insight, and confidence, related to this strength card that we have, that's still in reverse position, but will soon be upright. And being in charge of feelings and ambitions instead of being run by them. That's what they will learn spiritual as they grow spiritually. And the ideas of being a man with this Emperor card here, and confronting those ideas. This could also be literally just fathering children, facing the responsibilities, big responsibilities. And this is new ideas of this could also be a new ideas of project or business, or this could also be just a new rebirth of this new love and new, more stable, grounded foundation for this new connection, renewed connection with the divine feminines. Now we're looking at how they're seeing their divine feminines. So what I got here is the Four of Cups combined with the Ace of Wands in reverse. So what I got from that, how they're seeing the divine feminines, they feel like the divine feminines are so preoccupied with other things. So this represents the divine feminine's energy being focused on other things that they love, other things that they feel passionate about. Most divine feminines, I feel like, if you're connecting with me, you've already tried and go out of your comfort zone and seek out your passions. If you haven't done so, then that's really what will move you closer to union. That's really generally make you more happy in life, so that you don't feel dependent, you don't feel so attached from your divine masculines. And because really this detachment needs to happen. I know from my own experience, there's still days that most of the time I feel like okay without my divine masculines, but there's still some days where I can feel needy. And yeah, I admit that. And those days where I don't know what does I'll just watch like a ton of reading about how this person feels about me, just to check their energy from YouTube. And I know that's not healthy, that's not really good. Just keep watching videos until you get the message that you want. And that's not really good behavior. And so yeah, this is the divine feminine's energy. If you look at the expression of this person, the divine, how they're seeing, this is how they're perceiving things, how they're seeing, they feel like the divine feminines are maybe uninterested, and this is like the offer the offer that they want to give, the offer that they want to, the offer they want to give to the Divine Feminines, emotional offer. And they think that the Divine Feminines would not really accept their love offer. They know that they're Divine Feminine because for most Divine Masculines, it's them not I got sidetracked because my laptop died, the screen died, but just bear with me while I do that. Very professional of me. Anyway, as you can see from this card, the Divine Feminines are so preoccupied with other things. They think the Divine Feminines would not really accept this love offer, but they also know that the Divine Feminines needs and deserves more than a love offer, more than just a love offer. But they also deserve like a pentacle, more like stability. So that for most Divine Masculines, that could be what they're working on that stability, building themselves up first so that they will have a more stable offer to the Divine Feminines, because that's what they deserve. I know emotional offer will be okay for us, but this is all about knowing what you deserve. So it's like never ever ever take anything less than you deserve. If you keep getting crumbs from other people, it's because really you keep accepting them. That's why you set boundaries and you say no. That's not being greedy, that's just setting what you deserve. Now, with the Ace of Wands here, this is in reverse. Whenever I see Ace of Wands, this could really be about sexual energy. This could really be about Kundalini awakening. And if you're not physically with your Divine Masculines, it could be being intimate with them in dream time. And this could also be about attitude of being inconsistent and having a stop and delays. But this is a lot of passion toward the Divine Feminines, and this could also be a challenging path toward the Divine Feminines. There's blocks as they perceive. They know there will be it will be challenging when they come forward to the Divine Feminines, but if passion is strong, so I know they'll overcome that challenge, whatever that is, those fears. It could not be external, it could just be fears that they have in their mind that they need to overcome. We all have that. And as I've already said, this could be sexual energy, but it's stunted. And it's because it's in reverse, because maybe it's just purely because they are not together with the Divine Feminines, really. So that's why it's reversed. They cannot really express that sexual energy physically. Now, with the Ace of Wands in reverse here, what I got is they're thinking. With these cards here, they're thinking like, will the Divine Feminine still like me? Does the Divine Feminine still like me? Will she still like me? I'm just saying she for the Divine Feminines. I know Divine Feminines could be a man too, and Divine Masculines can be a woman, but just for the sake of, getting with this reading, just for the sake of explaining this, and like, does she even have feelings for me still? She seemed to be too busy in her life focusing on herself. That's the thoughts of divine masculines. And there's this really sense of urgency, and this could be sexually, especially during this Scorpio. Scorpio is a very sexual zodiac, and not being able to express that, so there's this frustration, and desperation, these suppressed desires. This could also be about missed opportunities, especially when your divine masculine already rejected the divine feminines in the past. I know that's what happened with my own twin flame journey. And like when the divine feminines express their love to their divine feminines to their divine masculines in the past, they've been rejected by the divine masculines. But now we all know that's for a reason. They've probably been to a different karmic situation that now they're learning, and they're awakening. Now, how they're seeing this spiritual connection. We have here the great view combined with the incubation. So, literally from the cards, they're having the great view now, or they will be having a great view being activated during this full moon. And with the 10 of discs here, and this 10 of discs is also the 10 of pentacles. So 10 of pentacles, I hope you can see it properly. Yeah, 10 of pentacles is all about they know, and they're now seeing, or they will be seeing, that this connection that they have with their divine feminines will provide them with their dreams of emotionally fulfilling, abundant family life. Basically, having a future with their divine feminines. Because this is the 10 of Pentacles, or wherever their dreams are. With the great view, this is becoming clear, getting a greater awareness, even if they do not know the exact terminology of the twin flames. They're getting aware of this idea. And this is also about them recognizing this as a spiritual connection, even though they may not know the terminology. And they know that this is something more. They know that this connection with the divine feminines is more than sexual, although that's a factor. More than sexual, this is more than just love. This is a spiritual connection, spiritual bond. And they're seeing this in a bigger picture now, or they will be seeing this in a bigger picture. The reasons why the things happened or has to happen, the realizations. Now, this also have the moon here. I don't know if you can see that because that's very small, but just in between the birds there's a moon, and there's also a sun here. And moon to the sun is like getting from the secrets out towards the realizations, coming out to the light. That's why I've already said it with the sun card there. And this is just a reminder that we can engage fully on the earth place. Oh yeah, straight from the card it says that this is just a reminder that we can engage fully on the earth plane and still ascend to the source. This is balancing the earthly realm with the spiritual realm too. And Now, with the incubation. Incubation is all about the Seven of Discs or the Seven of Pentacles. If you're familiar with the traditional tarot, it is where the man is like waiting on a plant with like pentacles hanging on the plant, that he's just waiting to harvest it. And so yeah, this is all about incubation, but it's depicted in this card as this polar bear spirit, almost like protecting this polar bear, pregnant polar bear with the cubs inside them. That's why it's incubation. Now, with the meaning of these cards, once they realize what this truly is, it feels like they will protect this. They're protecting this partnership. Most divine feminines, most divine masculines already know what this is about, but they're just not probably just trying to not let people around them know about what they know, and because they're protecting this, there's special to them, and they don't really want to be really ridiculed about this too, and it's also protecting the divine feminines. They might also want to go within to find out more. Could also be going within too, and so that's why it could be go from 10 of discs realizations. Now that they realize this spiritual connection, they want to protect it with the incubation here. This could also be go the other way around, like with this, through this incubation stage, through their what they're doing, mapping in the mind from the previous cards, through this thinking, they've gotten a spiritual awareness. Now they have a greater view. So yeah, either way, it's a positive thing, and something is developing, not yet in sight, and yeah, something is developing, and like now that they know the importance of this connection, it's like they now know its value, and they waiting for this connection to happen, waiting for this connection to happen, waiting for the right time. They know now that it will be worth it, because this could also be waiting for the right time to approach the divine feminines, waiting for the other things to happen. They will know it intuitively, just how the divine feminines get these intuitive guidance. They do get them too. They do get signs. They could get animals, signs, seeing animals. They could get also numbers, like the divine feminines. And yeah, now I know that for the divine masculines, for my own divine masculines, I know he's getting numbers too, because I've been told. And this is also all about honoring the natural harmony of things and life. The natural that's why we need to go with the flow, letting the things happen, letting things unfold in their own time, not with your ego and expectation time, but on the right perfect timing, the divine timing. And so the divine masculines are just having to protect the space while waiting. And this is them engaging fully in the details of daily life while keeping a higher perspective. There should be a balance in that. Now, with the fears, we'll go on to the fears of the divine masculines that could be blocking this connection at this present time. What I got here is the Moon card combined with the Confusion card, the Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So with this is divine masculine's fears. So what I got from this is very significant because it's like we're doing a Scorpio full moon, and what we have here the Moon card. The Moon card showed up. So we're very in tune with the energies. Now with the Moon card here, this is secretly dealing with fears. I feel like this is them secretly dealing with fears. They're very serious, as I've already picked up on already. And this is the fears emerging out of the surface with the Scorpio moon. At first I thought it was Scorpion but it's close enough. But this is a crayfish. And this represents ego. This represents protecting the ego, like with the shells of the crayfish. I know you can see it properly. Oh, you cannot really see it with the glare, but yeah, that's the crayfish, and that represents the ego. So, and when I read the meaning of this card, this is also about that water there is stagnant water, and that represents the unstable emotions. And this could very well be regarding to this twin flame connection. And with the two towers here, side by side, and also crayfish. There's this path. If you can see, there's this path towards the moon. There's this path here. Now, this is like facing their secrets, facing whatever they're hiding from the surface. Whatever that's remained hidden must need to be faced, which is really what the Scorpio moon is all about, Scorpio full moon. And this will affect not only the divine masculine but also the divine feminines, because this is a general energy, facing whatever you're hiding on the surface, waiting for these suppressed emotions or repressed emotions to come out of the surface for you to face them and to release them. So when those suppressed or repressed emotions come out of the surface, you will most likely fear those emotions again, whatever those pains and heartbreaks that you've suppressed or repressed. When you suppressed it, you are actively suppressing the emotions, pushing them under the rug. But when you repressed it, that took place unconsciously. That's the difference between suppressing and repressing. But it's all emotions hidden in the surface. And this could also be about facing the dark sides and shadow aspects, facing our fears. Now, combined with the Seven of Cups here, there's still confusion. This is their fears. So there's still confusion, which path to take, what to pursue towards the divine feminines, like how to pursue the divine feminines, what's really the most important for them to prioritize at this present time. This is literally their shadow self. I guess as you can see, this person here is literally a shadow. So I've just noticed that. And this could also represent all the cups here, as you can see, all this. This could represent all these material gains or anything materialistic in nature and baseless and not really of value. All the things he put on first priority, which he doesn't really that it doesn't really mean anything to him compared to the divine feminines. They're looking at the things that they have acquired but doesn't really fulfill them on a soul level. Now they're now realizing that they've put the divine feminine on hold, achieving these things that doesn't really fulfill them. It's just their ego. Most divine feminine masculines would relate to this. The Knight of Swords now. With the Knight of Swords, swords again. So this is also about logic and mind. So with the Knight of Swords here, this is about this impatient energy. They're thinking of wanting to move past towards the divine feminines because they're not feeling stable enough or insecure for some divine masculines. And I feel like this card is not only just fears, but it's also hopes. So hopes and fears. And this is a difficulty between not being impulsive and not being overly cautious and missing out another opportunity. Like if is it the right time? Is it the right time now or it's not? Or is it or if they don't do it, it might be too late. That's just on their mind, like they're getting confused about that. And with the Seven of Cups here, they're worrying too much, and it's like them worrying too much or not thinking enough. There's like a versus, like worrying too much versus not thinking enough, as I've already said. Not being impulsive, but also not being overly cautious, and like really finding a balance on that. And I think I feel like with the Knight of Swords here, what I got is them thinking, are they really being logical about this situation? Logic is so important to them. So now let's look at how they want to move forward. What's their action? What they want to do about these fears? How they're gonna cope with these fears that they have that's blocking this connection at this present time. So we have here the Death card with the Ten of Wands combined with the dissolving into oneness, One of Cups or the Ace of Cups from the traditional tarot. Now, with this card here, I feel like this is really about change. And we're talking about Scorpio. This is the Scorpio card. So it's really amazing that this come out in this reading. This is the Scorpio energy. So this is about change. What these three cards represent, what they want to do about their fears. They want to change. Now, there will be this opportunity for change, whether they like it or not. It will still take place. If they resist it, it is it will be almost like a forceful change. So they can either go with the flow or resist. And this is changing their old ways and moving towards the sun, because I've just noticed the sun is here. And if you can remember, the moon card has those two pillars here, there. So now the moon is not there anymore and the sun has risen. So as I've already said with the sun, as the sun is present in this reading as well as the moon card, it's getting those secrets coming out of the light. That's very that's the really energy that's coming out from this reading. Now, yeah, secrets are there will be no secrets. Secrets will be gone, and truth will be revealed, and it will also be, yeah, depending on the divine masculines and where you're currently at, it could be a long way, and could, like with the timing, it depends really on your own situation, because this is a very general reading. And yeah, it could definitely be a painful process, but it is really, really transformative. And I've noticed also there's lots of birds in this reading, and it's really freedom and breaking free from towards, it's like breaking free towards this new start energy. There's really this new start, new beginnings, changes. That's really what's, as you have noticed, keep coming out, the messages that keeps coming out. And this is all guided by the spirit with the white horse here. That for me is really the spirit guiding. And this is also about ego death, releasing this belief of needing public recognition. And yeah, with the 10 of Wands here, this is a 10 of Wands. This will be painful, as I've already said. This will be burdening, as you might already be aware of. The 10 of Wands is when the man is holding this 10 of Wands in their back. So they're closing to releasing that, whatever's burdening them, all those responsibilities that they have self-imposed. And for this new start, really the key thing, they need to release whatever that's holding them back to be able to get into these new beginnings. Now, this is really new birth of something, as this is depicted by the egg here. This is an egg. I thought it was a seed, but it's a new beginning. And if you can see it properly, yeah, that's the egg here, and this child is holding it. Children, boy, is holding it close into their heart. So this is really special to them, whatever that is. And a new birth of something. This is the egg of the phoenix. As you've already seen in the phoenix rising from the ashes with the 9 of Wands, this is that egg. So it's getting into that phoenix rising from the ashes. But first they have to go through that shells. They have to transform. Now, inside that shell, that egg. And what else? This is also about 10 of Wands is also about, straight from the book, this is embracing life and the changes that comes with it. The book says, live your life and don't let life live you. This is them taking control of their life now. Before, they might be a slave to society's expectations and people's expectations of them. Because they really didn't know any better before, especially if they haven't awakened. And as we are before too, we are stuck into that thinking too before. And so we can really blame them. Although, yeah, there's still free will, and most of their actions, the choices that they made are also their own choosing. So yeah, part of it is their fault, but that's not really what matters. Is now what matters is how they've changed and how they've learned through those things, what they are becoming, not being stuck on what happened in the past. This is important for them forgiving themselves for what they've done, and for us divine feminines forgiving them too. And us divine feminines to have our own faults and mistakes that we have done in the past. So those can also be applied to us, being forgiving ourselves with our past mistakes. Now, yeah, this phoenix just getting ready to be born, and yeah, as we already seen in the spiritual, there's this egg here, birth into form. So the egg is here again. That's really about new beginning. So this is about completion of a cycle, getting into the thinking that anything is possible, and facing the challenges. Now with the One of Cups here, this is the Ace of Cups. This is the overflowing love. This is dissolving into oneness. So what it says here is this is really about new starts, fresh start, newfound love that is now discovered, looking at this connection and love with the divine feminines with fresh eyes. And because what happened, I liked how it explained on the book in a psychological perspective, because for me, my background is psychology too. So sometimes that's just how I interpret the cards. Now, like for most divine masculines, they've been exposed to in their childhood or in their previous past experiences, they've been really into this toxic womb, because this is being depicted as a womb. So however, like what nourishment or lack of nourishment that they've experienced into the womb or in their past, their own upbringing, now this is them, they still have a chance to regress back the process of reparenting themselves and teaching themselves, because they were inspired by their divine feminines. Because when you've been into this lack of nourishment, lack of this like attachment, unhealthy attachment that is formed with the mother figure or whoever the caregiver is, that causes a sensitive withdrawal. That's causing the person to be a sensitive withdrawn, and when that happens in their future partnerships and relationships, they're really not fully engaging with others, especially in a deep emotional way. That's why most of the divine masculines are not able to face, not ready for this. They're blocking their disconnection, this deep emotional connection with the divine feminines, because they weren't ready, they cannot open emotionally because of what they've happened in the past. So now that they've facing those karmic situations that have happened in the past, now that they're awakening and they're repairing themselves, they'll be now more ready for these connections, and they're now will come to the divine feminines. Now, I also heard the song. I also saw the song "Here Without You" by Three Doors Down, I believe. So if you try listening to that song, I know that will resonate for most people that are watching this video. "Here Without You" by Three Doors Down. You probably already know that song because that's quite a popular song before. "Here Without You," Three Doors Down. Now, that's the end of the Divine Masculine's energy check. Now, for the guidance for whoever that's watching this video, whether you're the Divine Masculine or your Divine Feminines, I know that most of the Divine Feminines will be watching this video. I will do this very quickly. Whatever healing that you need, that needs to take place on your part, we have here the Daydream card combined with the Choice card. This is the solar plexus chakra. Now, with the Daydream card, it says, you will more easily hear and receive our messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, or ideas as if you were watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity. So yeah, this is all about daydreaming. I feel like as well as the Divine Masculines are needing to do those visualizations, we are also needing to do those visualizations on whatever you want to manifest in your life, not only with your Divine Masculines, but also in your career, in your own abundance. Daydreaming is important. I know I really feel like this is related to a choice. I know for myself, I'm having to, as I move closer toward my own soul's purpose, as I get clear to that, now I'm having to do and make choice about what path I want to take towards my soul purpose. Because really, I found that it's not really that hard to. The hard part is not knowing what your soul's purpose is, because most of the time you already know it. Like whatever that is in your childhood that you wanted to do, and that's where your passion is, your interests. That's really related to your soul's purpose. That's your clue. Now, really, I feel like finding it hard, because it's currently happening to me, to really choose which path do I take towards his soul purpose. And I know part of my soul purpose is teaching, so really I feel like I'm just being worried about it, but I'm already doing it through this reading. So thank you for being an audience and listening, and I hope you learned something from this. Now, with the choice card, yeah, this is making decisions in your life. If you're having to move, some people career choices, and this is having the free will, courage. This is change and willpower. I feel like not only the Divine Masculines are experiencing change, the Divine Feminines are also experiencing these changes. Now, so yeah, daydreaming. So with that daydreaming, towards those changes, what you need to surrender is surrender the negative thinking. This is, you have control over your thoughts. Your thoughts, when negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. You really need to surrender negative thinking, because if you're trying to do law of attraction, you're trying to visualize and you think negatively, then that's what will manifest. That's why this keeps coming up in the reading. Surrendering negative thinking. Now, what I've got also more messages is the energy work combined with what you desire. Energy work, life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. Your body is a remarkable energy, and that will positively respond. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. Now, this energy work, you're needing to do energy work, especially if you, on your path, we're very sensitive to energy. Most of us are really an empaths. And the more you explore your own gifts, especially psychic gifts, the more you're needing to do energy work towards yourself. Now, this could be for some people a career towards energy work. Because through this daydreaming, this is being receptive to the guidance of the angels. Daydreaming, taking time out of your day to daydream or visualize or meditate to receive the guidance. Now, when you receive the guidance, you take action. This could be related to energy work, a career on energy work, Reiki healing, or you needing a Reiki healing for your own self. That will really help you right now. And I feel like what I got from this also is just basically learning to master your own energies, so that you'll be stable, you'll be balanced, you won't be affected by the outside external energies, the toxic energy around you, because most of the time really you can't avoid it, but you can really avoid it, but especially in work situations, you cannot just quit your job, but if you feel guided to do so, sometimes you can't really do that. So what I usually do, I imagine myself being protected by a dome of light whenever I go on my day, first thing in the morning. That's why, so that I won't be able to absorb the energies of others, and they won't be able to suck out my energy too. Now, this is what do you desire card. You now have the opportunity to write the script according to your heart's true desires. Once you clearly decide upon your true desires and know that you're ready and deserving of them, they'll rush into your life as if by magic. What do you really desire? Ask only what you want, and then be receptive to the angels. This is dreaming bigger. Being honest on what you really want. Now, that's connected to relationships. So this is healing relationships. For most people, it's intimacy, freedom, acceptance, and trust. If you're the divine masculines, or if you're the divine feminines, there's still healing that needs to be done around the sacral chakra area where the relationships is. This healing need to take place for the union to happen, because really it's about relationships. So if you have any blocks in this area, you have to heal that, so you'll be more receptive to this, so that it will come to you. Now, with the relationships, what I also got from this card is, when you're trying to heal what needs healing on you, it's always what gets triggered on you from other people. Because relationships with other people, not only with your divine masculines, other relationships, they're mirrors. They're just mirroring what you see in other people is what needs is what you are inside. That's why there's there's really this quote also about what's inside your what you see is what's inside your heart. So if you see negativity, it means there could be a lot of negativity inside your heart that needs to heal. I know this is not the heart chakra, but this is relationships, and this is could be connected to that. I know you already know what I mean. So what you need to surrender to, I've got here: surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with the uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. So this is just reminding that we are a magical spiritual being, and all you have to do is pray and ask for guidance. If you can see like this, the presence of spirit there with the horse there, and we're all magical being. What I got from this is like I'm thinking of the magician card. We're the magician also, so we create our own realities. That's why we have a choice here, and we go to what path that is most enjoyable to us. Because this process, I know it always forget it myself. I get too caught up in this, and I get too serious. When all you have to really do is lighten up and just enjoy the journey, really, because it's really a amazing journey. Although it's painful, after you've released and healed, you still cry, but it's like crying out of happiness. And I wish for you to experience that too, because it's if you're being in high vibration, that's what you experience, like that feeling of your heart exploding, almost exploding in happiness. And that's really good. That's good for you and helping your divine counterpart as well. So that's the reading. That's the end of the reading. If you stayed on this, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to book a personal reading, all my details are down below. And thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you all love and light. Now